rounding third and heading for home here on the Pippin Dodds Packers podcast with John Dodds. He is the star of the show. We have a superstar with us, and I can say that because he's a humble man who is grounded. Kevin Harlan, one of the very best voices in the business, and again, an even greater person. If you've been with us over the past, 40 minutes or so, you can certainly pick up on that. Kevin, I know we would appreciate comments about the state of the NFL. I know you can't be Nostradamus here, but what do you think might happen? Will there be a semblance of a regular season? Will it be closer maybe than other sports? And then, of course, if we can get comments about the green and gold, then we'd be golden.
Well, I do think that the NFL is sitting in a perfect position because they're going to watch the NBA, Major League Baseball, the NHL come back and deal with the will probably be rough moments as they kind of re-enter their world. And the NFL will be an active student on that. But I think like all society, at least it seems this way to me, I think people are just saying, I'm going to get out. I'm going to try to be as precautionary as I can. But I've got to live my life. I've got to get out and I've got to work and I've got to support my family. And so I respect all those people that are like that. And I think the NFL knows they're going to have positive cases like these other sports. I think they plan to have camp, and they know there's going to be some rough moments along the way. Hopefully science comes up with ways to combat, control, and hopefully eradicate it to some degree. And I think that's what we're all hoping for. So that seems to me to be the NFL. I think they're smart to say we are business as usual with this a great hold on the rope, all pulling in the same direction of being as cautious as we can. And with this precious commodity, which is our players, we want to be there with our fans. The fan thing, though, becomes, I think, kind of the interesting story here. And I don't know if initially anyone's going to feel comfortable being shoulder to shoulder with thousands of people yelling at the top of our lungs with this, the way the virus is spread. That will be an even trickier path to take. But I do believe the NFL will come up with ways to protect the players, get the game going, and do the best they can under the circumstances. Mm-hmm. And as far as the Packers, I'm bullish on what they've got going. It seems like the baton was handed over so seamlessly from Ron to Ted, and I feel this as honestly as I can tell you from Ted to Brian. I think they've got a young, innovative coach who gets it. I like the fact that he's a young family man who understands life, understands what he's been given. This key to the most special franchise in professional sports, with a quarterback who will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and living in the tradition of the man before him and Mike McCarthy. We can all second guess draft choices and people they've signed. And I always feel like, it's like your favorite kind of ice cream. Some people like vanilla and some people like chocolate and some people like strawberry, and some people would have preferred they draft receivers or get more linemen or do something at linebacker. And I get that. But the draft is a crapshoot at best, and it's no better than 50-50 in anybody they select, whether it's Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers. So I just think, this is what these people do 24/7. That's what doctors do 24/7. That's what people that are specialists, this is what their life is. And so I think as fans, we may have a different opinion, and that's great, but we've got to trust the process. They know more than we'll ever know about what these guys do in the meeting room, on the practice field, what they're like mentally, how they operate in a day-to-day with their teammates. Let's trust the process. We did it with Ted. We did it with Ron. And we've all been spoiled a bit with two Hall of Fame quarterbacks back-to-back and almost more than 30 years of uninterrupted success. Let's trust the process with what these guys that do this for a living are putting together, and then we can make comments that may have some teeth. But right now, we're no better than anybody guessing when the virus is going to be cured. Whether it's going to be a cloudy or sunny day tomorrow, whether we're going to have rain. We don't know. We know none of this. Let's trust the process.
More day to day now, moment to moment than ever, Kevin. I'm just going to close and let John have the last interplay because you guys have all that history. But this has been a gift to us to have you and your valuable time. And please thank your wife because she must be a saint. Like you say, this career is not easy and, the glue to the family, et cetera. We not only want to hear you again, we need to hear you again. And in that regard, I think maybe your work, it's always been important, but more so than ever as we, Lord willing, get through this and get back to whatever the new normal is. So it's in retirement for me, my friend, it's been a great gift. Thank you, Kevin Harlan. And John, on the Pippin Dodge Packers podcast with producer Jason Ruck, you get the final word with Kevin Harlan.
Yeah, I guess, well, first of all, thank you very much, Kevin. I appreciate you going above and beyond. Just one thought on Jordan Love. Jordan Love, if he came out after his sophomore year when he's 32 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, might have been a top 10 pick. So then everybody leaves him, very much like Brett Favre in 2005 when everybody got hurt and they lost some of the offensive line.
Well said, John.
Was Favre had 29 picks that year. Was Favre done? No, he wasn't. So I think that's one of the best calculated gambles I've seen in a while with the Packers or any pro team. Hopefully it'll border on the Giannis pick by the Bucks in what was that 2013 or whatever that was, where you just take a gamble, but it's a calculated gamble. And then I just want to thank you again for being with us. I know your brother Brian used to introduce me for about a decade up in Green Bay as Kevin's first friend. And then he would laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. And I'd say, Brian, that's not funny. I was his first friend. But I appreciate that. I also appreciate your dad on Lefebvre Avenue. He would bring home the Marquette media guides and he would hand them out to people in the neighborhood. He'd drop them off and my mom would take them and give them to me. So I learned to read when I was 3 years old with a lot of numbers, a lot of black and white pictures, and a lot of good writing from Bob Harlan, writing about Marquette basketball.
Well, John, you followed your heart and you've stayed in the business. You've been in business, but you've kept your interest, your love of sports right in front of you at all time. Few men can say that because you get sidetracked by the business that is your profession, your job, and here you've been able to combine both so well, and that's a tribute to you. So I'm glad, I'm blessed by your friendship, and this is so unique, as you might guess. We're asked to be on a lot of these podcasts, so this is the first one where I've done one with a person that I've known my entire life, and a person that I've admired in Tom for many years, watching from afar. There was a time when I was watching Tom or watching any of these wonderful men that I grew up watching and idolized, saying, boy, if I could ever be there, if I could ever do this. And to be in a situation where you're in a business you love. My dad always said, if you wake up every morning and you love what you do, you're luckier than most. And that's how I feel. And so I feel lucky that I've had a chance to have this particular intersection of a person I've watched for so long and admired and a person I've known my whole life. So it's the best of both worlds. And you're sure nice to have me on. I've enjoyed our time to chat. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Kevin. God's blessings to you and the family. Can't wait to hear you. It's been
Thank you so
real
much.
pleasure. Thank you.
You and yours.